News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KBNU.
KBNU News Time is 4:05. I'm Bill Walter with this news update brought to you by U&I Furniture. A 33-year-old Logan man is headed to prison for smothering a baby girl to death more than 4 years ago. Kyle Gooch cried as he told a court he had come to accept that he was fully to blame for the baby's death. Gooch was sentenced Tuesday afternoon in First District Court. He previously accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to an amended charge of child abuse reckless homicide, a first-degree felony. On December 15th, 2019, Logan City police officers were called to an apartment on reports of a deceased infant found in her crib. Investigators found several signs of trauma on the child's body. The baby had bruising on her head, ears, and several bright red abrasions on her face. It was determined that the child had died the night before. Police interviewed Gooch and the baby's mother. They learned that the couple's 3 children, including the victim, had been left in the care of the defendant on the night of December 14th. The mother had left briefly to collect some Christmas presents, leaving the baby screaming hysterically. Gooch told police he had swaddled the girl in a large blue blanket, claiming it helped calm her down. He then placed her in the crib face down for the night. An autopsy report found the victim had 13 different blunt force injuries to the head. A physician later concluded that the wounds were not accidental and were consistent with inflicted pressure, as might occur with smothering. Gooch was booked into the Cache County Jail after being arrested on July 31st, 2019. He has remained in jail without bail while lawyers negotiated the case. KBNU News Time is 4:07. KBNU weather for tonight. Rain showers likely, chance of thunderstorms this evening, then a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms after midnight, low in the upper 30s, and then a 40% chance of showers, partly sunny on Friday, high in the upper 50s. Southwest winds 10 to 20 miles an hour. More showers in the forecast for Saturday and Sunday. It's 61 right now at KBNU. KBNU weather brought to you by Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology. Bring back the sounds you've been missing. Schedule a free hearing evaluation with Dr. Paul Danes at Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
The guys at UNI Furniture are grateful for all the snow we've been blessed with this winter, but they're ready for spring. Shop UNI's spring sale on mattresses. UNI Furniture's most talked about mattress is the copper-infused memory foam. It's by far the coolest and most responsive to touch mattress they've ever seen, and it's great for side sleepers and people with back issues. Come in for a demo. Whether it's a mattress, a full bedroom set, a comfy sectional, or just a chair, you'll always find a better buy at UNI Furniture. UNI Furniture, downtown Logan.
KBNU News Time is 4:08. The Bear River Land Conservancy Organization's overall goal is to conserve critical lands in Cache, Rich, and Box Elder counties, and also provide educational opportunities, cleanup, and restoration projects, and opportunities for the community to volunteer. On KBNU's For the People program earlier this week, Operations Manager Gabriel Murray and Bear River Watershed Coordinator Matt Combs were our guests. Murray said there is an incredible agricultural land base in northern Utah that's all private land.
And those private lands provide just a tremendous amount of habitat and also food that we rely on. So it really is critical that we try to preserve kind of key pieces of this landscape.
He said over the last couple of years, a little over 4,000 acres has been set aside for conservation. Many Cache Valley residents may be familiar with some of the conservation work in connection with Bear River Bottoms and work in Trenton, but they also have a footprint in the Bear Lake Preserve, the Menden Meadow Preserve, and they are hoping to expand this going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. We have, 3 to 5 projects right now in the works, kind of throughout Cache County and Rich County. So we're actively pursuing additional conservation easements and working with landowners as we speak to try to really expand what we're doing and protect more area and more habitat.
Combs, meanwhile, said one of the projects is a smaller agricultural conservation easement in the valley, the other with a larger conservation easement with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. He said they work with quite a diverse mix of projects and funding partners. You can get more information at bearriverlandconservancy.org. And Utah has been named the top state in the U.S. when it comes to being passionate about Star Wars. According to a survey conducted by Bookies.com, researchers examined Google Trends data over the last 4 years and found that Utah consistently had the highest search volume for Star Wars-related topics, scoring a perfect 100 each year. Fans in Utah are always looking for the latest news and updates on the franchise, and several activities are planned around the state to celebrate May the 4th. And May the 4th be with you. KBNU News Time is 4:10. For more details on these and other stories, visit CashValleyDaily.com.
Sean Hannity from 1 till 4 on News Talk KVNU 102 FM and 610 AM.
We all need a reason to celebrate warm weather, so come celebrate Cinco de Mayo at the Cache County Fairgrounds, Friday, May 5th. Mariachi bands, Zumba, traditional Mexican folk dancers and singers will all have you dancing to their rhythm into the evening. And several food trucks are serving up authentic Mexican treats to satisfy your appetite. Bring the whole family. There's something for all ages. This year's celebration is presented by Presto Products in Lewiston. Apply today for a career that can improve your life at Presto Products. DD Auto and Salvage. They pay the best price on junk vehicles and scrap metal. DD Auto and Salvage. Members First Credit Union. Large enough to provide the service you need, yet small enough to provide the service you deserve. Members First Credit Union invites you to join us at the Cache County Fairgrounds and experience the vibrant colors, sounds, and tastes of Mexico at this year's Cinco de Mayo celebration. Friday, May 5th at the Cache County Fairgrounds.
For the people.
We are waiting with bated breath for news from the Cache Republican Party meeting an executive committee tonight.
With Jason Williams.
And I'm really excited about this next segment. We have two guests here in studio. We're going to talk about something that we've talked about many times here on the show, but from a bit of a different angle.
Weekday afternoons from 4 till 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM.
Welcome to KVNU's For the People, Thursday, May 4th. May the 4th be with you. I'm Jason Williams, Bill Walter in the studio as well. We'll talk about Star Wars Day and how it's being celebrated in Utah in hour 2 of today's show. Right now, it's time for our weekly theater hour with our friend Charlie Schill here in the studio, and you're welcome to join us, 753-5868. Absolutely nothing to do with theater, but I just want to throw this out to our listeners. The new hot mustard Doritos, they're interesting. I'm going to go try the spicy ketchup. You said they have. Yeah, they've got a companion trial going on with spicy ketchup Doritos. The hot mustard, I don't know if I'm ready to use the word good, but
different.
I keep eating
different.
them, and it's interesting. But I bought them. They're having this effect. I bought them because I've been having, with the wind and rain and sun and all that, it's like all three things that can make your hay fever go haywire happening in one day here. So I was hoping something would kind of clear the sinuses, and they did have that effect. So they're hot enough.
They're good for sinuses.
Yeah.
That's
so
about what we can say about them.
Yeah, if the wind has your allergies stirred up, maybe try out these hot mustard Doritos, or maybe don't. I don't know. Charlie, welcome.
Hi, Jason. How you doing?
So your responsibility is to try and class things up after I start the show with the hot mustard Doritos.
Well, I'll tell you, to clear my sinuses back in the good old days when I was a second tenor, and they wanted me to sing first tenor. Every time I walked out on stage, somebody shoved a spoonful of horseradish into my mouth.
That'll do it.
That cleared your sinuses.
Oh, wow. That's That's dedication to the craft there, too.
Yeah, well, the leading lady didn't want me to kiss her after that either.
That's a good point. Maybe they only use that on select roles.
Yes.
That is, that's a good idea, though, actually. Horseradish sauce would definitely fire things up.
You bet. Okay.
Where are we at?
I have to make an apology.
Uh-oh. Did we say something mean?
No.
Okay.
No. It's totally me. I screwed up. And I screwed up both in a review and on the air last week, so I need to make an abject and heartfelt apology to Celeste Bayo.
Okay.
Because when I went to see School of Rock,
Yeah.
and I said that Celeste wasn't performing that night, yes, she was.
Oh, really?
I have absolutely no idea. I mean, we've had Celeste sitting right here in this chair.
Sure. Known her for years.
I know her for years. She was wearing a red wig, and I did not recognize
That's
her.
interesting. I like that, though.
Oh, that's just so stupid.
That's kind of a happy mistake because that's good.
Yeah, except that
Stagecraft.
everything I said about the character and attributed it to Sabrina Woodlands was actually Celeste.
Because I remember you saying this. Sabrina was really impressive. You were
well,
disappointed Celeste wasn't there.
that
but
was
Sabrina.
that was Celeste.
It was just Celeste all along.
Yes.
Well, that explains why you were impressed.
And do you know what? She is such a class act. Now, part of the situation might be that she just never read the review and wasn't listening to us on the radio.
Someone had just told her about it, huh?
But she did not call me and read me the riot act. She is such a class act. She didn't do that.
That's very nice.
And Whitney Metz dropped me a one-line email that said, "Boy, did you screw up."
That's a good sign, though, because when people are eager to point that out, that means you don't do it often, and they're excited to point it out.
I better not do it often, and I better not do it to Celeste again, because I feel like an idiot.
Do you know what, though? That actually is kind of a nice mistake, because it does sort of speak to the ability of them to get literally lost in the role. Enough that you didn't recognize her or her. I mean, you have known her a long time, so her mannerisms, that's good acting.
No. They're, she's really good with mannerisms.
That's impressive.
She played the mother's role in Freaky Friday when the Four Seasons did that, and she was completely over the top with being all
so funny,
all loosey goosey,
especially if you know her.
Yeah,
because she's more of reserved and
she was again adopted a whole new set of mannerisms for Singing in the Rain.
That is, oh man, that is funny.
Well, it's not that funny, but
honestly, I feel like this for an actor should be a compliment to not be recognized. I think as an actor,
it was in the program. I feel like a moron.
I often don't read those though. Sometimes
I should have just believed that. Yes, this is the AC/DC cast, and that woman there really is Celeste, even though it doesn't look like Celeste.
I love it. I maintain this is the kind of mistake you want to have happen to you as an actor. That means you've done your job well. You became someone else on the stage so much that a good friend didn't recognize you.
Okay. I'm glad you feel that way.
That's my spin.
I don't.
You're listening to the Theater Hour with Charlie Schill here in the studio. We'll be back with more right after this.
When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
This is Detective Johnson from the Logan City Police Department. Scams in our community are on the rise, and innocent victims are losing thousands of dollars. These scams are coming in the form of phony phone calls claiming to be from government organizations or legitimate businesses. They are also circulating on social media and emails. Almost all of these scams are asking for payment through gift cards that are almost impossible to track. No legitimate business or organization uses gift cards as currency. If you receive a scam of this nature, do not give the scammers any information and immediately call police. Remember, pause, stop, call a cop.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Friday on This Morning, America's First News. The government's ability to pay its debt may extend another month or so, but the calendar for raising the debt ceiling isn't so forgiving. Hear why there may be only a matter of days to strike an agreement. Also, you may enjoy working remotely, but is it good for mental health? And if a boss uses AI tools, does it reflect poorly on leadership? Friday on This Morning, America's First News. From 4 to 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM. Your station for news and talk.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Charlie Schill, our guest here in the studio, talking theater in Cache Valley. You're welcome to join us.
And eating crow.
But you know, speaks to our integrity. You know, for the integrity of this hour, we own the mistakes, and very few are made. Tomorrow, if it makes you feel better, tomorrow on the show, we're doing a whole segment with Nathan Duggs of the Cache Water Conservancy District to clear up something I said on Monday that was not correct about the turf buyback program. So Nathan's coming in to correct me on air.
Okay.
So you're far from alone. But
okay, open invitation to Celeste Bayo. You can come in and correct us.
Yeah, please do. Actually, that was fun having her in studio last year.
It was.
That was, and we still need to work on Wendy Hassan as well. I keep meaning to follow up on that.
Towards the end of the month.
Yeah, she
promised she'll unveil her national touring season for next year.
On the show, right?
On the show.
That's right. I forgot you'd already lined that up. I'm always excited about the announcement of the touring season because there are always surprises, and it gives you a little clue if you watch this stuff long term or from a 30,000-foot view, whatever you want to say. You can see the direction that she's going with the Eccles and the experiments and the things she's like Wendy's version of Doritos hot mustard chips. She'll just she'll throw a few things on the roster to see, okay, will Cache Valley like this? Like the comedy shows that have stuck around, and I hope they do stick around. But I forget where we're at on the calendar. I know.
Let's not worry about the calendar.
We've covered everything on the calendar for the time being, right?
Yeah, sort of.
That's right.
We're
caught up.
The theater arts department up at USU is saying, in fact, today is saying farewell to their graduating seniors, and there's only a couple of them that were actually going away. All the rest of them are going down the street to the Kane Lyric Theater and are going to be in the lyrics shows this summer.
Oh, really?
Yep. Just about everybody.
Now, that's very cool.
Yeah.
So that means, I don't remember their names, the two leads from the spring one.
Spring Awakening?
It was supposed to be so shocking and wasn't. Yeah. So the two leads from that are sticking around.
The two male leads.
Okay. She's graduating.
Yeah.
Okay. I just thought that was the one thing I walked away from. I was disappointed because it had been so sold as this controversial thing and it was just a big meh. But I was really impressed with the three main characters, their talent.
Well,
really
the funny thing is, if you Google Spring Awakening,
sure,
what you end up seeing is lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of high school productions of that show that have been stomped on by their parents.
Yeah. That's and that's what drew the attention.
I think so.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I get that. Even though I wasn't impressed with the material, it seemed really timely. And then again, that was the one that I think I walked away from the most impressed with the talent on the stage that night. Still not impressed with their sound system. Never impressed with their sound system there at that theater.
I went to see Miss Alliance in the Morgan Theater, and you could hear every word.
Really?
So
they fixed something.
Which was important because, Shaw is all about playing with words.
Yeah? I wonder. I want to know what they fixed.
I don't know. Because
that was always my biggest. When I would see something I wanted to see was playing there, I always kind of sighed a little bit because sometimes it's just the dialogue is so muddled.
Yeah, sometimes.
So they fixed it. I'm excited. Have to get out and see something next fall.
Anyway, what we're getting is Bailey Minor. You remember her from Fox on the Fairway last year with the Lyric. She was last seen in Puffs, I think, up at USU. And she's going to play Olivia in Twelfth Night and also has a role in One Man, Two Governors.
Okay. Wow.
Andrew Moody, who you remember from Spring Awakening.
Yeah.
And he was also in Miss Alliance. He played the Bobby, the aviator who crashes into the greenhouse. We'll be playing Alan in One Man, Two Governors.
Okay.
Mia Gaithram will be in One Man, Two Governors as well. Thank goodness, McKenna Walren will be also in Twelfth Night. She's going to be playing Fest.
Oh, wow.
And she's, of course, she was in Miss Alliance and she was in Puffs.
Yeah. Everything.
Ashlyn Rober will be joining the Lyric Company as she's going to play one of the Wonderettes, and Dolly in One Man, Two Governors.
Okay.
And she had the lead in Miss Alliance. Jack Carter Roberts is going to play Sir Toby Belch in Twelfth Night, which will be good.
That'll be really fun, actually.
Also, Preston Rowlands, who I believe was the second lead in Spring Awakening, the kid who committed suicide.
Okay.
And that's probably why Spring Awakening is still controversial, even though it's not. When it was originally staged, the love scene between the male lead and his girlfriend was not consensual.
Okay.
And they cleaned that up.
They kind of stripped that out and then left.
They cleaned that up, yeah. And but Preston Rowlands played the kid who committed suicide, and he'll be in One Man, Two Governors.
He was good too.
And he was in the Lyrics staging of Freaky Friday last summer.
Okay.
And you know what? that was performed in the Morgan Theater, and you could hear every word he said.
Interesting. That's. I really want to talk to someone now and see what they did. That is really cool. This is.
I wonder if he is really good at playing the microphones on the stage.
Oh, so maybe it was something he did rather than.
Well, it would have been, because
theater.
it was hard to hear.
Yeah.
Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
And he was. Yeah, I remember thinking that. Okay, I can hear him. What's wrong with everybody else?
That is interesting. That would be. Now I'm gonna have to. I wonder if they'd be offended if I called and asked. was it just him, or did you guys finally fix something?
They probably would be.
That's really quick. I didn't know this, and you would know. I'm not aware of them having done this before, but the Lyric Repertory Company is offering this year a Flex Pass, which basically gets you into anything, or you and a friend into 3 shows, and it's $40 cheaper than if you bought all the tickets independently.
They've done that before.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. So instead of $180 for all 6 shows, it's $120. That's if somebody's looking for a deal.
Okay. The interesting thing that's going to be in Twelfth Night. You remember the plot of Twelfth Night. There's these twins who get shipwrecked and separated, and then the female comes back dressed as a man, and it's
that's right.
They're going to have,
unbeknownst to everyone else,
I believe, 2 siblings actually play those roles.
Oh, really?
Sumner Jones Scholl and Lisa Scholl. And
that's going to be interesting.
It's going to be very interesting because lots of times you kind of fall out of the show if the 2 twins look totally dissimilar. And there's the other gag that I'm supposed to believe that girl in a man's costume gets mistaken for her brother Sebastian.
Yeah.
Who's a 1.5 feet taller than she is.
Yeah, last time I saw it, that was the case.
Yeah.
Well, it was actually more of just a body. Yeah. It was a very slender person and a more stocky person.
Yeah, and it don't work.
Yeah. Yeah, it didn't play well. But now Sumner has been in a lot.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a name to maybe keep an eye on, I think, for the future. But I'm excited to see them sticking around.
Okay, the cast, the professionals in the Lyric cast, are going to be Brandon Foxworth and Herb Newsom, who were last year in Fences and Fox on a Fairway, and they're both coming back again. Michael Dougherty is the actor that put Richie Call out of a job.
Yeah, that's right.
So that he could concentrate on the Vasco Call Spotlight concert. And that pretty much wraps up. And there's a couple other new other performers whose names I didn't recognize, so they're probably new.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. For listeners who want to see what Charlie's been discussing here for yourselves, Lyric Repertory Company on their Facebook page has posted individual, bios and pictures of everyone from Preston to Marin Robinson. So I'll post a link to those on our own Facebook page.
Look at Sebastian Scholl, or look at Lisa Scholl. Can you find her there?
I'm scrolling. Oh, here we go. Okay, that's
if you look at her brother, They're very similar appearing.
Yeah, they can actually.
But the question is,
And he has long hair.
are they gonna make him shave,
Yeah.
or are they gonna put a fake beard on her?
That'll be interesting to see. That is funny. Now I'm curious. I'll be watching for this as I see this.
Should be cute.
Very nice. And Twelfth Night is a lot of fun.
And it's going to be directed by Paul Mitri, so you know it's going to be good.
Oh wow, that's yeah. They do actually. They have the same faces. Just his hair is actually longer than hers.
Oh, way longer than hers.
That is interesting. It'd be cool to see. Watch for Lisa Scholl and Sumner Jones Scholl playing those twins. And Twelfth Night's a lot of fun if you've never seen it. We'll be back. It's our For the People Theater Hour with Charlie Schill here in the studio. First, though, a look at the news with KVNU's Bill Walter.
Thank you, Jason. KVNU News Time is 4:35, and the news is brought to you by Roof Rescue. A Utah law requiring adult websites verify the ages of their users has taken effect. Pornhub vowed to disable access to its website until the law is changed. The law took effect Wednesday and continues Utah lawmakers' years-long effort to crack down on pornography and children's ability to access it. It comes a year after Louisiana passed a similar age verification law. The Utah law follows earlier moves to declare pornography a public health crisis and pave the way to require internet-capable devices be equipped with porn filters. It also dovetails with broader effects underway in Utah and other states to require social media companies verify user ages to protect children. Hyde Park has joined forces with the Utah Division of Water Resources Landscape Incentive Program to encourage residents to replace their grass lawns with water-efficient landscaping. Residents can receive a rebate of up to $150 per square foot, with a maximum of $50,000 per property for switching to native plants, drought-resistant shrubs, and trees. The program aims to promote sustainable practices and reduce water usage. Residents can contact the city for more information and access the application form. Residents of other communities can visit UtahWaterSavers.com and select their water provider to view program requirements and rebate opportunities in their area. And a national group says it wants to reclaim the significance of Cinco de Mayo, the anniversary of Mexico's victory over the Second French Empire at the Battle of Puebla in 1862. The win for Mexico secured its rights to its own land, water, and culture. Olivia Juarez with the group Green Latinos says through a Take Back Cinco de Mayo campaign, they want people to recognize the holiday as a day of action for cultural and environmental defense. They say it's been hijacked by corporate interests to sell alcohol and stereotype Mexican culture.
What we seek to do by taking back Cinco de Mayo is to enhance the holiday as a day of action, to reaffirm our commitment to protect public land, waters, and our cultures from those who seek to drill, mine, and otherwise destroy our communities.
Whereas says their group wants to emulate the Mexican victory at the Battle of Puebla to now fight against the climate crisis, which they describe as the greatest challenge of our lifetime. KVNU News Time is 4:38.
This is David from Roof Rescue. A roof is not something most people think about until they notice a leak on the ceiling. This time of year, fluctuation in temperatures, along with rain, snow, and ice, can do a number on your roof. If you notice these leaks, they won't go away on their own and are oftentimes a sign that the roof has reached the beginning of the end of its life. Call Roof Rescue for a free analysis, diagnosis, and estimate. Let's fix those leaks and keep you dry this winter. Call 435-999-4268 or visit roofrescueusa.com. Roof Rescue, providing watertight peace of mind.
KVNU weather for tonight, mostly cloudy, chance of showers and thunderstorms this evening, then partly cloudy and a chance of rain showers, slight chance of thunderstorms after midnight, low in the upper 30s. Partly cloudy and just a slight chance of rain showers tomorrow, high around 60. But rain showers back in the forecast starting Friday night and especially Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures over the weekend, mid to upper 50s. Earlier today, we hit 69. It's 56 right now at KBNU. KBNU weather brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Napa just took in truckloads of oil, Napa's best-selling diesel oil, at the lowest price of the year. Price is good at all 5 locations between Preston and Providence. For more details on these and other stories, visit CashValleyDaily.com. Let's check Wall Street now with Edward Jones.
Good afternoon. This is Branch Office Administrator Whitney Heyer bringing you the daily financial market report on behalf of financial advisor Mike Arnold and Edward Jones. On Wednesday, the Federal Reserve raised interest rates by 0.25%, the 10th consecutive increase in its rate hiking cycle, bringing the Fed funds rate to 5.25%. While the language in the Fed statement hinted that a pause in interest rates may be likely, Fed Chair Jerome Powell pushed back on the notion that rate cuts may be imminent. He noted that it would not be appropriate to cut rates given that inflation remains elevated and may take time to ease back towards the 2% target. The Fed will likely pause rate hikes for an extended period to assess both inflation and the economy, particularly given the added uncertainty from the banking turmoil. We would expect the Fed to signal rate cuts if inflation is more meaningfully back towards 2% or if the economy has materially weakened, neither of which is in place currently. Today, U.S. equities closed lower. The Dow closed down 287 points at 33,128. The Nasdaq closed down 59 points at 11,966. The S&P 500 closed down 29 points at 4,061. And in the bond market, 10-year Treasury yields are trading at 3.36%. The price of crude oil is down 13 cents at $68.47, and the spot price of gold was up $20.10 to $2,057.10. In stocks of local interest, Autoliv was down $2.09 at 82.37. Chevron was down 61 cents at 156.22. Dominion Energy was up 81 cents at 56.57. Home Depot was down $7.33 at 285.75. Kroger was down 66 cents at 48.28. Lowe's was down $2.51 at 202.80. McDonald's was down 6 cents at 295.16. Microsoft was up $1 at 305.41. Nucor was down $6.31 at 139.88. Philip Morris was down $1.48 at 94.38. And Walmart finished up 42 cents at 150.47. This has been today's financial market report, brought to you on behalf of Edward Jones, member SIPC, and financial advisor Mike Arnold.
The Above and Beyond Salute.
Hello? Yeah, good morning. Is Misty Nash there?
This is her.
Somebody contacted our radio stations on our website and said that you have taught preschool for the Logan City School District while supporting your family. Is that you?
That's me.
Those little kids can be a challenge sometime, can't they?
They can be, but they're worth it.
I have a $40 gift card from Firehouse Subs here in Logan to say thank you for going above and beyond in our community, Misty.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Submit your nominations for the Above and Beyond Salute by visiting kvnutalk.com.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Coming up in hour 2 of today's show, we'll be revisiting some of our interviews. We talked a few weeks ago with Tim Smith of Cache School District on graduation numbers and ceremony times and dates and all of that. Kind of an inside look at who's graduating from Cache schools this year. And also James Boyd, spoke with him a while back about what the legislature did for CAPSA and other nonprofits hoping to combat sexual assault or raise sexual assault awareness here in Utah. So I have to step out at 5. We'll be revisiting those interviews for hour 2 of today's show. If you missed those, a chance to hear them. If you caught them the first time, they're still interesting. Chance to hear them again. Right now, though, we are live with Charlie Schill here in the studio for our theater hour. We just ran through good news. A lot of the people from USU's acting company, that those that aren't graduating, and those that are, some, moving on to several shows through the Lyric and Faces. If you saw any of those shows that you'd recognize and be excited about. And so what's next? What comes after that?
Well, let's squander the whole day on the Lyric Company.
That's fair.
Okay.
We haven't shown them some love in a while. They were closed last year, or through the winter.
Every year, the Lyric does, I'm not sure what you'd call it, a master class for dummies.
Oh, that's right.
I
forgot they do that.
They do, one day at a time, they will bring in the people who are, they'll bring in the actors, and you'll have a chance to interact with them and find out what's going on. Then they'll bring in the directors. Then they'll bring in the stage crew. Master class for dummies.
That's interesting.
But they're opening it to the public for the first time this year.
Wow, that's very cool.
Yeah.
That could be a fun experience. For now, is there's not, do they split that in age groups?
No,
or it's
no,
just
no.
open generally
it's just open generally for the public. These classes will be run at the Lyric Theater. They're going to run from June 5th to the 9th. That's before the season actually starts.
Okay.
And they run from 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. each day. On Monday the 5th, the administrative team will come in and discuss how the 2023 summer season was put together.
Okay.
Why this show, why that show, how they arrange the cast to perform.
That's interesting.
Yeah. On Tuesday, June 6th, again from 11 to 12, the 4 directors for the show will come in and talk about their concepts for how the shows were arranged and, what it takes to, hey, let's put on a show in the barn.
That's right.
As they used to say in all those Mickey Rooney, Jody Garland movies.
It's funny. That is very cool.
On Wednesday, June 7th, the actors will come in and tell about how they're getting ready for the shows. One of the things that they'll probably talk about is, how do you remember the blocking for 3 shows?
Yeah.
At the same time.
And not mix them up.
That
would be my biggest fear.
That would be a problem.
Remembering the steps, but for the wrong show. And everyone else is still in time. Yeah. That's interesting, actually.
On Thursday, you see the artistic team come in. The set designers, the costume designers, all those people come in and talk about the particular things they've got going for this season.
Okay.
And then on Friday, June 9th, the unsung heroes, basically, the team that's running rehearsals and running the various shops backstage.
Sure.
So I think that's a really interesting way to do it.
That's a good idea.
It is.
But challenging, though. Like, you could That's going to be difficult. I'm sure they'll pull it off, but that's going to present some challenges.
I want to sit in on these classes. I think they'll be fun.
That would be, kind of a behind the scenes, but a different type of behind the scenes.
Yeah,
that's very cool. I like the idea. I hope this gets enough of a draw that they make this a thing, a permanent thing. I like it.
Yeah, it's a good idea, and what it does is get the audience an opportunity to interact with a portion of the company that they don't normally see. You don't see the stage manager. You don't see the costume crew. You don't see the set design people. But they're integral to the company and the season.
That's I think as an example of how interesting this could be as set design. I didn't know this myself until someone actually explained their experience in set design during a production, and talked about how they had to the combination of both designing a set for the story. Which is oftentimes the book they get has some tips, some or even in some cases some requirements. You have to have one of these on stage or this scene won't work. But other than that, it's mostly up to them, and then they have to take that and translate it for the cast and the theater it's going to be in, which you sit down in your seat and forget all about that and watch the show.
Think about how important the set design is in a show like Wait Until Dark.
Oh, sure. Yeah, wrong set design, it doesn't work.
Screws the whole thing up.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've been there.
Oh, I could see how a minor change would really...
think about how important to A Christmas Carol those puppets were that Dennis Hassan designed.
Oh, sure.
When they did the show in 2021 and then came back and did it again in 2022, and he had revamped the Ghost of Christmas Present puppet, all 15 feet of it, so that its head moved and wobbled and
that's cool.
And yeah, he was he wanted that to be even better than it was the first time out. And he achieved it. But that's why these backstage people, these crews, these artists are so important to a season.
Sure. To me, that's always been, I've often, referencing the Star Wars celebration happening today with May 4th, I've often wondered if one of the reasons I was such a fan of those movies as a kid is the behind-the-scenes stuff. Because one of my first... I'd only seen one of the movies when I saw a behind-the-scenes thing on how they did one of the big puppets. Uh-huh. And I was obsessed with the creativity and the what they would have to do to make this work. And so I'm the same way with... some people call it, and it can be gimmicky in some productions, I guess. But I don't mean the word gimmick as a negative here. But the gimmick that will be used, in a production to wow the audience with a piece of the stage or with that's fun. But then also fun for me, the high school production of Les Mis was that last year?
Yeah,
last spring.
Fall? It was after the regular season.
That's right.
It was August.
That, to me, was also really fun because here you had this limited stage, no budget, and they had this tiny set that they used very creatively to recreate some of those big scenes from that production. And yeah, to me, both of those are equally amazing. So, Charlie Schill, our guest here in the studio, talking theater in Cache Valley. More to come right after this.
Finally, winter is in our rearview mirror. But before you break out the barbecue and invite the neighbors over, you should consider pruning your trees and shrubs. Well, hang on. Don't do it yourself. Leave it to the pros at Hull Tree Care. Their certified arborist and experienced team will prune, trim, and get your yard looking its best. Yep, overgrown trees are a hazard. Having Hull Tree Care prune them doesn't just look better, your trees will feel better too. When you call, ask for the radio discount. HULL Tree Care. Call 760-6587.
My hearing started to go right around the same time my wife started naming off all the upgrades she wanted done on the house. I figured it was selective hearing. To be honest, I was actually pretty upset when it was suggested that I might need hearing aids, but ultimately I knew it was time for a change.
At Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology, we can help you regain the confidence that you're hearing life the way it was meant to be heard.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
Visit CacheHearing.com for details.
Planning your funeral shouldn't be the last thing you do. Pre-planning is actually quite common. Allen Mortuaries recommends you plan it all in advance. That way, you have time to think and arrange things the way you want them. Then, when the time comes, your loved ones can focus on what's important. Family. Allen Mortuaries.
This is Jason Allen with Allen Mortuaries, serving Cache Valley for over 80 years. Then, now, always.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Talking theater in Cache Valley with Charlie Schill here in the studio. A few minutes left in the hour, and you're always welcome to join us, 753-5868. Barring contributions from listeners, we've always got... I was thinking about this. We've done this several years now, and we've never had a show where both of us said, well, we're going to cut this short because we've run out of things to talk about regarding theater production in Cache Valley. Even when there is a lull in openings and premieres, there is news to talk about, announcements.
Absolutely. There's always something going on. For example, just so that we don't break our train here and we continue to talk about the lyric, I was shooting the breeze with Dennis Hassan at the gala before the Lyric Theater's or the Eccles Theater's 100th anniversary. And I asked him, okay, what are you going to do to the puppets in Christmas Carol this year? And he said, nope, we're not going to do that again.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, that's interesting.
I said, okay, so you're going to do the Christmas Story, right? Nope.
Really?
So what are you going to do? We're going to do It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I'm trying to remember the last time that was in Cache Valley.
I've never seen it.
Maybe it hasn't been, because I honestly can't remember it being done in Cache Valley.
Huh.
That's very cool. I'm excited about that. Something new.
Well,
I mean, no offense to Christmas Story or
Christmas Carol.
Yeah. I want to see someone do Christmas Story too, but
somebody is doing it at the Four Seasons.
Ah, that's right. We talked about this, or they can edit out the slightly racist bits. They do, by the way, in the stage production. I've seen it.
Yeah. I'm not surprised, actually, because, these are creative people. They've gone about as far as they can go with Christmas Story.
Yeah.
And they're going to want to do something different.
That's going to be fun, I think, because so here's my deepest, darkest secret. Despite the fact that almost every other thing, I love the 12 Angry Men or Jimmy Stewart as an actor. He's in some really good stuff. I never liked that movie.
What?
It's a Wonderful
Life?
I never cared for the movie. There's something about the characters that just seems too dimensional, but I have seen it before as a stage production, and it was a wholly different experience. And so I think people getting to see that around the holidays on the stage instead of that classic film, that it'll be fun to get some reactions to that.
I've never seen it at all, so it should be fun.
That'll be fun. Very cool. Well, Charlie, again, thank you for your time. We'll see you next week, every Thursday at 4 Charlie sits down with us for our weekly theater hour. You can read his work in between now and then at cachevalleydaily.com. And we'll be back with hour 2 of today's show right after this here on KVNU Logan.
Changes, we'll keep you up to date. News Talk KVNU Logan, 102 FM, 610 AM, the voice of Northern Utah.